Minister Georgiadis, welcome to WION's Straight Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. Your foreign minister was recently invited to India for a 2-day visit, and a number of regional and international issues were discussed, and the two sides decided to continue their cooperation on a number of issues. So where does relations stand between the two sides at this point?
We have excellent relations with India. Just before COVID, India was the honorable country in Thessaloniki Fest, which is the biggest event in Greece. Because of COVID, we didn't have the opportunity to have some official trips to India. I will go to India, also have invitation from my colleague, Minister of Development and Commerce of India, to go there. And we want to find a way to accelerate our relation with India. I'm very proud and happy as Minister of Development and Investment that some significant investment, especially in renewable energy, has come recently to Greece from India. So the future between Greece and India seems bright.
And you are in New York for a number of meetings, and investment in Greece is on top of your agenda. You've been taking numerous trips around the world and now in the United States, in New York. Considering the fact that there's a war going on in Europe right now, do you think there is a concern, and how has that impacted your trip in any way?
First of all, the first 2 years of my term in the Ministry of Development, I received the office on July 2019, were really great. We managed these 2.5 years to attract in Greece some significant foreign direct investments from Pfizer, from Microsoft, from Digital Realty, from Amazon Web Services, from Meta Facebook, and various others. So we want to continue the same path. But the war hasn't really influenced the investments at all in Greece. I can say it has accelerated the process of renewable energy. You see, the war in Ukraine has caused a huge need to European countries to stop buying natural gas from Russia as much as they can. So the needs of producing renewable energy, which is much cheaper now than the energy that comes from oil and gas, is huge. And Greece is a country with big potential in this area because, we have solar power very strong, since the sunny days in Greece is almost every day, and we have a lot of wind power in our mountains and in the sea. So huge funds are now on their way to invest in Greece in renewable energy.
That's very interesting. And is that something that perhaps maybe a few years down the line, European countries are hoping to move away and end their dependency on oil and gas, or, for example, buying Russian oil and gas? I mean,
all the European agenda is green energy. I mean, beyond the war. It was green energy before the war. Now, the war has made green energy much more compatible as finance, because it's much cheaper. So now we have the need to buy as less natural gas from Russia we can, and we have the motive, which is it's much cheaper. So you see how the system works. If there is a big benefit, the investment will come.
And do you think that's possible right now, given 40% of Europe's natural gas and
we will need some time, because natural renewable energy doesn't come in one day. You have some license procedure in front. In Greece, we have managed with the current government to reduce bureaucracy at all. Before we were elected, in order to have the permits for a windmill electricity park, you would need 5 to 6 years. These have been accelerated to less than a year now. So if you come and you decide to build your own investment, in less than a year you'll have your permits, and then you will build it, and in, let's say, 2 years the most, you'll have your first income.
What was fascinating is that Greece can also be an energy hub when it comes to pipeline project, gas projects for the rest of Europe as well. The EastMed gas pipeline between Greece, Cyprus, and Israel was in the process of perhaps really providing that until the United States withdrew its support because it wasn't green enough or it wasn't economically friendly enough. But that was an opportunity for Greece, wasn't it? Or is it still ongoing?
I love the United States of America.
Okay.
I really love it. It's not as a support. I love the United States of America. But EastMed is not a decision that is going to be made from the United States of America.
Okay.
To be honest, the United States of America has nothing to do with EastMed. Okay. EastMed is a decision between Greece, Cyprus, and Israel. If we decided to do it, we will do it. Our American friends maybe like it, maybe not, but it's not their job. So simple as that.
Are you going to go along? Is it good? There's an alternative, though.
It's a very good process to be done.
Okay.
And today our Prime Minister announced the escalation of all the investigations for natural gas in Greece. We know now that we have significant resources of natural gas in Greece. If you combine that with the natural gas in Cyprus and with the natural gas in Israel, then everything makes sense.
Mm. You also, there's another opportunity between Greece and Turkey, the TransAdriatic pipeline as well. Is that something that you would be open to?
Turkey in our neighborhood, to be honest, has some turbulence, not only with us, but almost with everybody in the region. So I cannot really say.
Right.
If they decide to have friendly relations with all their neighbors, they would be welcome. But friendly relations can be stand only in international law and respect of international law. So we're waiting Turkey to respect international law, and then everything is okay.
A few years ago, there was a proposal for a Greek-centric NATO corridor to block Russia from the Black Sea, considering what Russia is doing in Ukraine right now. Is that something that maybe Greece might...
Greece has accelerated our strategic relations with the United States of America. We have signed a new agreement. We have given one of our most strategic points in Greece, Alexandroupolis port, in order to have an American base there. A lot of American troops are there now. This has started before the invasion of Russia and Ukraine, and now it's much more important because of the invasion and the instability in the region. Yes, Greece could play a key role of stability in the region, of course, with our ally, the United States of America.
Right. And, you know, when it comes, again, to Turkey, both Greece and Turkey, they play such a vital role in changing the security situation in Europe after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Do you think that perhaps with the recent news that we heard that there might be some kind of rapprochement after the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the security situation?
We have not the same policy with Turkey in this issue, to be very honest. Greece is a country that day one supported Ukraine, not only talked against Russia, but implemented all the sanctions European Union, the United States of America decided against Russia. We sent weapons to Ukrainian people to defend themselves, and all the other help we could. Turkey, even though it's a member of NATO alliance, has not implemented sanctions against Russia. It plays both sides in a way. Some would say it's a smart move in order to be able to negotiate with Ukraine and Russia for peace. Okay, maybe this is one way to see it. Others, like me, would say they just want to earn money from the sanctions, and this is not very fair and just.
And what about the hydrocarbon resource and naval influence standoff that Greece and Turkey entered in 2020 in the Mediterranean? Is there any meeting ground regarding that?
There's not serious talks about that with Turkey. We have a lot of other issues to solve first. There are some talkings. Greece is a country of stability. We want peace, of course, and we want good relations with Turkey. I have to be very honest on that. But as I told you before, good relations between nations and states can only stand on respect one against the other. And respect between nations and states stands on international law. Turkey, as we speak, threatens Greece with war if we just follow what international maritime law gives us as a right. Threatening someone with war is against international law, and of course occupies the 40% of Cyprus. With all this in the table, the relation can be, let's say, balanced, but they cannot be really good.
It was very interesting that I read, and I know a lot of investors would be happy to hear that you mentioned that there won't be much COVID restrictions in Greece in the near future. And this is something that a lot of countries and a lot of cities have been grappling with. That would welcome investment in a lot of ways.
Now Greece is in a much more normal way due to COVID. Not as free as here in the United States, to be honest, but a lot more. I think in the early May, everything will be over. You see, we have already vaccinated more than 85% of our population. So the people that are vaccinated, they don't really have danger from COVID in order to lose their life. Unfortunately, some have not been vaccinated yet, but life goes on. We have to follow our economy and our life and help all the other people that unfortunately have not get vaccinated yet to treat themselves if they're sick as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Minister, you seem very passionate about the renewable energy process for the European Union, and the European Union really does seem to have a will to move away from oil and gas, natural oil and gas in a lot of ways. But do you think that's feasible, and do you think there is an understanding between EU countries and member states, there's an agreement that this should be the case moving forward? Do you think everyone is on the same page?
Other countries more up front, other countries more behind. This is how life always goes on. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you again, war in the invasion of Russia and Ukraine will accelerate this process, mm-hmm. because now the profit someone can get if compares the price of energy from a windmill or a solar power plant through natural gas or oil, it's huge. So for the budget of the states, for the budget of the people, of the business, of the industry, renewable now is much more efficient. So investment will come to this area, and Greece will play a key role on that because we have natural advantages.
Mm-hmm. And regarding the, and I keep going back to this, this is something that everyone is focused on, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Turkey is playing a mediating role right now. Are you optimistic? How is this all going to end in your view? What will happen ultimately?
I hope the war will end today as we speak. I hope it will end tomorrow. I'm not sure this will happen, to be very honest.
Yeah.
I see that there's a big trouble there. Mr. Putin for sure miscalculated things.
Yeah.
He thought that Ukrainian people will just surrender and will not resist. This is not the case. I have to be very honest, I respect the people of Ukraine that they decided to resist to someone that tried to occupy their country. This is something that has dignity inside, and I wish them all the success in the fight for freedom. I understand that war is a disgusting thing. Terrible things are happening now in Ukraine. War crimes are happening in Ukraine, and I'm not sure that there will be a fast end to all this story.
It's going to be a long war.
I'm afraid.
Yeah. Mr. Minister, thank you so much for joining us on WION Straight Talk. Thank you.
Thank you very
Come
much.
back.